Hi, so welcome to the late vlog. I'm really sorry that the vlog is up so late. The main event was very exhausting, and the breaks are like 20 minutes. And you have to go to toilet and sometimes order food in between. So this takes up already half the break. So there was really just very little time to record something. And additional to that, I was always super tired. I was playing every day like 12 hours. So I decided to don't record immediately and to do it later, to have more focus on the game and to rest a little bit in between the breaks. So I hope you understand that I cannot sacrifice too much energy to the vlogs. It's still my main job to play poker there. So, spoiler alert, I got 460 in the main event and got 30k in cash. So that's decent result. Still a little bit disappointed because I had a good stack at one point and there was definitely more potential in. But I also had quite some luck at day 3. This I will explain to you later. So the main event are 6 people left at the moment, and Hossein Enzon, German player, shout out to Hossein, is still in, so I hope he will win it. So let's get the summary of day 2, day 3 and day 4. So day 3, I started with like 160k. To my immediately left sat Todd Brunson, the son of the famous Doyle Brunson. So he's quite famous in the US. A couple people approached him during the day and asked for a photo and these things. So the day started quite decent. I could win a lot of small pots. Table was quite good, was easy to play. And then there was a big hand against, or not a big, was a decent size hand against Todd. The blinds were 1200, 2400 with a 2400 big blind ante. I raised the button to 5400 and Todd made it 12,500 in a small blind. I had ace-8 offsuit and the odds are very good, and I have a decent hand. I cannot fold so many hands, so I have to defend quite a bit for this sizing. So I called, the flop came ace-7 for rainbow. He c-bet less than half pot, it was 1/3 pot, so 10k and 30k. I call, nothing else you can do here. The turn is blank. He bet 22k, so like 40% pot size, still small bet, and I have still very good hand in my range. So I call again, and the river came a blank, a queen. Okay, not a whole blank, but it was a queen. He checked, I checked behind, and he showed ace king. So then I was down a little bit, was down to 155k. I was then playing quite a lot small pots, and I lost quite a bunch, so I was down to like 70k. Then got jacks. The gun raised to 5k. I 3-bet to 13k on the button. Flop came 8-7-3 with a flush draw. I bet 12k, he called. Turn came a 9. Now there are 2 flush draws on the board. I pushed all in. So he checked, I pushed all in. He tanked a lot, quite some time, and then he called with a 10-9 suited. No flush draw, but he had a pair and open-ended straight draw. And the river blanked, so I doubled up there. Then there was up and down all the time, and then I had ace king suited against king, and it went all in preflop. I raised, he 3-bet, I pushed all in for like, I don't know, 30 big blinds, 35. So I managed to win this hand. And then there was a very big hand against Todd. I opened the button again with 7-5 suited for 9k, and the blind's already up to 2k, 4k big blind ante. So I made it 9k on the button. Todd made it 20k. So again, I have very good odds. So I decided to call. Flop came Queen Jack 8 with a flush draw. So with my flush draw. He'd c-bet 22k, and I called. Turn was a king. He checked. I bet because I have 7 high, and he might fold. Actually, I was thinking about checking back. When he bet the flop with the sizing, I think he often has a hand when he's not barreling the turn, like ace king, aces, ace queen, ace jack, king 10, some hands like these. So anyway, I still bet 37k in like I think over 100k, a little bit over 100k. He called, the river came king again, and I decided to bet all in, make a bluff. I mean, I need to bluff some hands here, and I think the small flush draws are quite okay because they have 0 showdown value, so check has basically no EV. And also, I cannot bet the big flush draws, like ace-high flush draws, because he's maybe check calling these. So the small flush, and I don't have any open-enders or something like this in my range, so the small flush draws are the best hands to bluff there. Of course, you have to pay attention to not over bluff, because you have like 8, you have like 6, 7, 6, 5, maybe 6, 4, 4, 5 suited, all these small hands in a range. So be careful not to over bluff. So I battled in, and he tanked for a while, and then he called with aces. I don't know if he had the clubs or not. I was actually asking him after the day, but I could not remember if he had the ace of clubs or not. Anyway, not so important. So then I was crippled down to like 50k or 80k. Then a couple orbits later, I was very short, like I said, 80k. I was in a small blind. I had 7-9 suited, and I pushed her in for 14 big blinds roundabout. And Todd called with Queen Jack offsuit. I managed to win this 7-7 on the flop. And the next hand, immediately next hand, I got Jack 10 suited on the button. Somebody raised. The cutoff called, I flat called on the button. Now I had like 35 big blinds roundabout. So the board came Jack 10 6. And the initial raiser c-bet, the cutoff called, I called. The turn came a 8. The initial raiser check, the cutoff bet. And the pot was already very big compared to my stack size. I think I had 1.2 point pot size left. And he bet like 1/3 pot. So I pushed her in the turn. I was also thinking about pushing the flop already or raising the flop. But I'm in position and I mean, you could raise here, sure. I was thinking at this moment the call is better because people are barreling also a lot and the raise looks very strong. So on the turn we went all in and he was tanking for a while and called with Jack 7. He had a top pair and gut shot. River blanked and I doubled up, so I went from 80k to 315k in like 2 hands. That was nice. Then I had big stack again. I tried to play more hands then again, and I also got some hands. Tried to push the table around, which was doable. And then I got a flush over flush hand for a big pot. And then I constantly hovered around like the 700 to 800k mark. And yeah, then we were in the money already at some point. So at the end of the day, they bursted the money. It was very annoying. There was one guy at my table, we called I think 10 times the time on him. He was like every hand tanking like 20 or 30 seconds. We always called the time. And then the flowman once at one point was so annoyed, he told him, you're on the instant clock now. He has no time to think about. So when it's his turn, he has to immediately act or his hand is dead. So then the other player was negotiating with the floorman and said, oh, give me 5 seconds, please, give me 5 seconds. And then there was some back and forth, but then in the end he was playing, he was then playing fast within the 5 seconds. And then finally, after a long bubble, or actually it was not a long bubble, there was never a hand-for-hand play in progress. But it was quite annoying. All the stalling and tanking already began a couple hours before the real bubble approached. So, but in the end, we finished the day with like 700k, and we were in the money, which was 15k guaranteed cash.
Players, congratulations, you know. All right, here's the Vice President of the World Series opponent, Mr. Jack Nickel. Congratulations, everybody, and thank you for being patient with all of us. We have our humble for 2018 Champions. We know that it wasn't a career, but we're going to give him another chance on behalf of the World Series of Poker. We got to see that 2000. Coming into day 4 of the 50th World Series of Poker main event, where all of you are in the money, looking to grab a chunk of the $80 million prize pool. Now with 1,286 players remaining.
So day 4 started very good in the beginning. I made a straight actually, and somebody had a set. So I immediately stacked him, like he had like 400k, 350 or something like this. It was basically, I raised the cutoff with 7-8 suited. He was in the small blind. He was so far very tight, and I knew him from a previous play with him. We played another day. And I know he's strong when he's 3-betting. He was 3-betting very small, so I had good odds and we had a big stack. So I decided to call. And the flop came 10-9 blank, so I had an open-ended straight draw. He bet half pot, I called. Turn was blank. He bet like 1/4 pot or 1/3 pot. And at this point, I was not sure if he has a hand or he was bluffing with ace king. He was, I was playing with him quite a bit, and I think I kind of knew what he was doing, but at this point I was not sure what he had. Anyway, I had good pot odds, and there was a flush draw on the flop, so I could bluff the flush if it comes, maybe. So I decided to call again. And the river came a jack, so I hit my straight. He went all in from the front, and I called, and he had 10-10 for the set, so he was strong on the turn. Yeah, this was a nice pot, 700k pot. Then I had 1.1 million, and this was my high mark in the tournament actually. From this point, I was again hovering around 700, 800k. I lost the medium-sized pot with, I don't know, was just losing some hands. So I have 800k then. And then I had ace 10, the big blind defended, and flop came ace 7-7. I c-bet and he raised, I called. The turn came a blank, he bet again, I called again, and the river came a flush draw and he bet all in. And so he could have had the flush there or the trips on the flop, so I had to give this hand up. This was quite a big pot, so I had 400k at this point. Then Mike Metaso came at our table, but there was not much trash talk. He was quite tight. He was quite quiet. So, and then I think I 3 hours or 4 hours I had basically no hand. I was playing almost no hand. Once or twice I was raising and folding to a 3-bet or like taking down the blinds or something like this. But all the time I had like these 400k stack, some less, some more. And then I think in the last or next to last level of the day, I was like raising couple hands. The blinds were already pretty big, so I had 30 big blinds then at this point. And people were 3-betting me all the time, and I always had my bottom range and I had to fold. So then I was already starting to play very, very tight. And I got no hands, still no hands. This was very annoying, very annoying. Then somebody raised, I found ace king, I pushed all in with like 20 big blinds, and yeah, he had ace queen, he called. I think river queen, so I was out of the tournament. Yeah. But to be fair, at the day 3, I was super lucky. I was calculating the all-ins. I was 4 times all-in. I had 82%, 34%, 38%, and 91%. And to win all these is like 10% probability. So I should have been out already at day 3, a good amount of time. So luckily I was not, and I made the cash, 30k in the box.